Blog Talk Radio.
My fabulous, magical tribe of beautiful rainbow people, and welcome one and all to another episode of Magic Universe with Sharonah. Woohoo! And this is your magical mama, Sharonah Rapseik, and I am coming to you live from the Big Apple in New York City. And I'm so happy that you're joining me today as we spring forward into daylight saving time. And wow, it's a full moon in Virgo in the sky tonight. Now, this show is all about creating magic and miracles in all areas of your life by using angel guidance and the divine conscious energy of the magical universe that we all live in. The show is brought to you by Psychic Talk Radio Network. That's the radio network with spirit, and Psychic You. So please visit www.psychictalk.net to learn more about our past and upcoming radio shows, our hosts, as well as our online courses offered at Psychic You. This show is also brought to you by the IAAP. That's the International Association of Angel Practitioners, the very first worldwide organization that was formed to educate, celebrate, and support spiritual practitioners and entrepreneurs around the world. So please visit www.angelpractitioners.com to learn more. And finally, today's episode is also being sponsored by the ARE of New York City. That's a nonprofit organization formed by a core group of service-oriented volunteers, all inspired by the work of America's psychic, Edgar Cayce. To learn more, go to www.edgarcaycenyc.org. That's Edgar Cayce with the Cayce spelled C-A-Y-C-E followed by N-Y-C. Magic Universe with Sharonah is a live call-in radio show where we talked about such topics as angels, crystals, energy healing, tarot and oracle cards, the cycles of the moon, holistic healing, the laws of attraction, and good vibrations. A lot of good stuff, in other words. And we are live on the air always on the second and fourth Sunday of every month. So you can listen to our show here on psychictalk.net/live on your internet browser, or you can listen on your phone too, simply by calling in, which reminds me to tell you that this is a live call-in show. So if you would like a free tarot mini reading, an angel message, or just to ask a question or add your comments to today's topic, or even just to say hi, the number to call is 714-816-4628. Once again, that is 714-816-4628. That's to listen. But remember, if you want to be live on the air, you need to press the number 1 afterwards on the keypad on your phone. And this will flag us on the switchboard. And we do take calls in the order that they are received. So don't hang up because you will lose your spot in the queue. And also, you can go to www.thetarotguild.com/chat, and you can chat with us there. But don't forget, you need to join the Tarot Guild website, and it's free to join. And then that way you'll be in our chat room and you can ask us some questions there. Okay, got to catch my breath. Woohoo, it's time to start. Okay, today's show, we have a very, very special guest. She's one of my favorite people, Mary Brown, and she's the host of both There's a Rock for That and Tarot Today on Psychic Talk Radio. She is an angelic healing practitioner, a crystal Reiki Master accredited by the International Association of Therapists, and she's a Tarot Guild certified Tarot Master. And Mary Brown lives in Texas, where she teaches angel card and tarot reading, and she can also be reached for readings and bookings via her email, which is mary@psychictalk.net. So, woohoo! Welcome, Mary Brown.
Hi, Sharonah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun, and I've already got people, they want to know exactly what a crystal Reiki Master does and then how you pull that all together with all the other stuff that you're doing. So we are all ready to learn that.
Awesome. Yeah, well, it's kind of a funny thing because when I first started studying Reiki, and I know you are also a Reiki master, and you also work with crystals. And to me, there's just like a natural connection there. When I first started going to, my local Reiki circle, I was already working with crystals. I was like, this is just what I'm supposed to do, okay? Maybe it's not in the class, but I'm supposed to do this. And to me, it fits together in a very, very natural way. What I feel happens is that a lot of times it's especially, when we do things like distance healing with Reiki, I think that's when crystal Reiki really, really is at its best, because often, it gives you like a tangible thing. And if you're working with a client who's in another part of the world, you can recommend stones that they can have on hand to kind of support the Reiki treatments that they're getting. And also, you can use crystal gridding. That's a big part. That's a big thing in crystal Reiki, is to do a lot of grid work. And what's also great about that is, so I can do a grid for a client to help with an issue, and I can take a photo of the grid and send it to them so that also they have a visual to go back to. So those are some of the reasons I really like the blending of working with crystals and Reiki.
Well, they are so beautiful. It's like I always think of that song, diamonds are a girl's best friend. I think if we could make it, crystals are everybody's best friend, because they're
Absolutely.
so loving and they're just so beautiful to look at and behold. And the fact that they are, they're created by the earth, but they're actually, I like to think of them as they're living creatures. They have a spirit around them.
Yes, and a lot of us, talk about that with the idea, spirit is one way to look at it. Some people look at it as like kind of like a nature angel presence. There's a larger there's a larger concept of crystal devas, that each type of crystal, so say a crystal like amethyst, that there is a spirit or a deva that you can connect with, that you're connected with every piece of amethyst that there is. That there's some people call them oversouls, so that each type of crystal has an oversoul connected to it. It's really fascinating. And, so that gives us, in a way, sometimes, and I think, this is true for me, at least when it comes to working with angels, is that having a way to connect, part of that is like, how do I call out to them? How do I say, Archangel Raphael, help me? Can you please help me with this? And we can do that with the David crystal spirits, Davis spirits, whatever we want to call them. We can connect in the same way. It gives us a bit of language to help us communicate with that oversoul or that spirit.
Yeah, wow. That, that's, you've given me something to think about. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, well, as I said, they're so gorgeous, and I can't, I never met a crystal that I didn't like. They're all like calling to me, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know if they were to put together a crystal toolkit, are there any crystals that you'd recommend?
Absolutely.
That they get started with?
Absolutely. In fact, I put together crystal healing kits that I sell at like psychic fairs that I participate in here locally. And, to me, like the very basic, and one thing that I want to say that I just really feel passionate about is that it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to try to find the most exotic crystal to really feel the benefits of working with crystals. So what I think should be in everybody's toolkit, I think there should be a selenite stick. I think that there should be a nice piece of black tourmaline, okay? And I think there should be a clear quartz. I think there should be an amethyst. I think that there should be blue quartz is actually one of my favorite throat chakra stones. But the idea is that a stone for each of the chakras, okay? And remember the rainbow. So you have so many choices. If you just keep the rainbow colors in mind, and you add that selenite stick and you add the black tourmaline, and so you have one, for the crown chakra. I like clear quartz for the crown chakra. For the third eye, I like amethyst for the third eye. I love blue quartz. But sodalite is terrific too. I mean, there's so many blue stones that work really well for the throat chakra. And then you go down to the heart chakra where you have your green and pink stones. And I like to do both. I like to do green aventurine or moss agate. Either one of those is really good. And rose quartz. Got to have the rose quartz, people. If nothing else, have a piece of rose quartz, please. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, yeah, that's that it's so pretty too, and you can just kind of you can feel the energy that comes off of rose quartz. It's just so loving.
Love. Yeah. And then from there, you go down to the, from the heart chakra, then we go down to the solar plexus, and we look at, real simply like things like our yellow stones, So some people, really like citrine. Other people like yellow jasper. Again, we're working with the colors of the rainbow in our crystal toolkit. So Yellowstone, like citrine, like yellow jasper for the solar plexus, and for the sacral plexus. I want to say, I love the word plexus. I want to use it with every chakra. I don't know why. It's like the third eye plexus. I'm into the word plexus. For the sacral chakra, we've got our orange stones. The carnelian is one of my favorites for the sacral chakra. And then finally the root chakra, red jasper is wonderful. You can use your brown stones, your red stones, your darker stones. And so if you have just that, gathering all those stones together, they're inexpensive. It's going to cost you like, $8, $9, $10 at the most to put together your own healing kit. I sell them for $15 because I went through all the process of gathering them all, creating the bags, and then blessing them and charging them with Reiki. But people can do it on their own very, very reasonably. And one thing I always recommend is like, hey, take 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever amount of time that you can kind of put aside that you're not going to be disturbed, and do a layout, do a body layout. Lay out, put the associated stones. Remember, we're working with those colors on each of the chakra areas. Put the selenite stick about a hand's width above your head. Put that black tourmaline in between your feet, and just lay there and just relax. Do some relaxed breathing, and you're aligning your chakras. And you do that on a weekly basis. Do it on a daily basis sometimes. You're gonna feel the benefits of it.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. We're getting some questions about people want to know if you need to clear and charge your crystals, and with it being a full moon, is there anything that you should do on a full moon with your crystals? What do you say there, Mary?
Well, everybody has their own way of doing it. I think back a few years ago, I was in this kind of larger conversation with other crystal healers, talking about different ways to cleanse, clear, and charge crystals. And some people really, they want to work with the earth with that. They want to work with the moon energy. And we think of full moon as a great time of releasing. So it's a great time for clearing objects, putting them out in the moonlight. The only thing that I ever caution is like if that resonates with you and you want to do that, make sure you know where you put your crystals. You don't lose them outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can, it's like things like that. But then, other people like to use incense to cleanse their stones with. And there's some stones that have the ability to cleanse other stones. And, what I have, in my living room, I have this big basket of pretty much, except for the tourmaline and the selenite, because they can break up. They're delicate stones. But all the other stones, I have a big basket of tumbled stones, and I keep them in there to keep them cleansed and to keep the energy charged, because they're working with each other. You have something like citrine or carnelian that has the ability to cleanse other stones, So there's a lot of different ways to approach it, and I really feel like, what resonates with you, what you feel is effective, is going to be the most effective, because
exactly.
if we approach it and we think like it's not going to work, I don't know, then, that's kind of a lousy attitude, and chances are we're not going to get the results that we want. So figure it out, I think, because there's so many different ways to approach it. And even just clear running water for stones that, aren't so delicate that they'll dissolve is a great way to cleanse them as well.
Definitely. I'm laughing because someone was saying that they don't put their stones out in the full moon because they're kind of like computers. They know what to do. You know how our computers knew that it was, if you lived where it was daylight savings time, they immediately fix the time. They go, my crystals are smart. They know when it's a full moon. But, yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So
and, I remember a friend of mine, all of us are having this big, huge conversation about all the many different ways to cleanse our crystals. And she's like, well, you know what I do? I just look at them. I hold my hands up and I say, be clear. And that works for her. I just laughed because but the thing is like we have to also, I think, keep in mind that a lot of times, when we're doing things like cleansing our crystals in the full moon, it's almost like a ritual, and there's something that just like really like clicks on for a lot of people when they develop a ritual around something. It works on different levels. Sometimes we're not just cleansing the crystals, but we're doing something for ourselves too.
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have like a favorite crystal? I mean, do you have a crystal for today? Love to hear what is resonating with you for today. Is there a particular one?
There is, and it's so funny because you're asking me about that, and I'm like, well, I guess the one in my hand is resonating with me right now. But I have, and it's so funny. It's just something that I've been doing lately is labradorite. Labradorite is one of my favorite stones, and the thing about it is I have like a small. Actually, I have two small, they're the same size, labradorite spheres. And those, what are they? Like the meditation balls, that you can buy a set of two and you can, kind of, hold them in your hand and kind of do these different like hand exercises with them. I'm not describing this in the right way, but some of them jingle and everything, and it's supposed to help. And so I do that with two pieces of labradorite because labradorite is a terrific third eye chakra stone. I think it is one that is how people like use it probably the most. Can be used on various chakras. That labradorite comes in different colors. It can be kind of gray, black with gold, blue, and green reflections or flashes in it. It's got this iridescence. Actually, with labradorite, they call it labradorescence. But it's just a terrific stone for stimulating, intuition, and it really kind of, I don't know what it is. There's something about labradorite in particular lately that I just feel like this is a terrific stone right now because there's this thing about and it's in the folklore, right? The crystals aren't just New Age; they've been around for thousands and thousands of years, and you can look at ancient lapidaries where they, you have all the great thinkers, like Pliny the Elder, like all these people that we've heard of in other, maybe philosophical contexts that wrote about working with stones and the effects of them and recipes for healing with them. So it's really kind of a fascinating thing, but it's just that one of the folklore things about labradorite is that those flashes that I was talking about, that labradorescence, sometimes they disappear when there's like, something around you that you need to be wary of. So I just, kind of love that. Like they'll go dark,
Ooh.
So to me, it's just kind of an interesting stone to like have around, and I'm always working with it, and it's terrific for scrying, or crystal gazing, I guess is a way to look at it when people look into a stone and they see different figures. You can get messages that way. It's a whole other form of divination. But labradorite's a great stone for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to get a bigger piece of it, but I have a little piece of it. But I definitely, now that you say that it changes colors, that it's kind of like a mood stone, but like a mood stone for what's going on around you.
Yeah.
That's like, that's really, really cool. My goodness. Some people want to know, are you familiar with a practice called making elixirs or putting a crystal into your water and drinking it? Any thoughts on that?
Yes, be careful. Don't swallow your crystal. That's my first thought on it. But elixirs are interesting. And like, look, my feeling, if you also if you're interested in making elixirs, it's really important to be very well informed and as up to date as you can be on toxicities of different crystals. Okay, because there's certain ones,
Good
especially
point.
if they're in their raw form, that you don't want to be drinking that water because you're drinking heavy metals. Okay, and you're poisoning yourself. So I'm a big fan, though.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of what they call the indirect method, right? So you would take a larger bowl of water, okay, and you would put the crystal inside a smaller dish inside that bowl of water. So it's still like the water is still getting charged with the crystal energy and you're getting the benefits of it, but you don't risk the toxicity of direct contact.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That you don't, because you don't know what's on the crystal. I mean, they are, you could have, cyanide or something on the crystal or whatever.
Arsenic.
Yeah, arsenic.
Like arsenic.
Yeah,
and copper. Copper is, and that's why some crystals you don't want to handle with your bare hands in their raw form. Malachite is one I think most people know about. Is that, if you're working with raw malachite, you don't want to be handling it so much. You want to wash your hands. There's a few. There's a lot of them, but it's just that we need to also be safe because yes, they can. They're incredibly powerful, and practically anything that's powerful, there's also a little teensy-weensy bit of caution needed, right, to utilize that power, in a way that's beneficial.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We have a question where people want to know, they're saying they're having trouble coping with the switch to daylight saving. So is there a crystal for that?
For kind of like feeling in sync with the universe, so to speak. There's actually like several different ones that you can use, and it really depends on like how is it affecting you. Is it causing stress? And also. It's kind of a weird thing, but when I think of daylight savings time, I don't know why, but I always think of, and it's weird, it's just kind of a thing. I always think of EMF protection, electromagnetic frequency protection. Because everybody's changing their clock, I'm thinking like, all this mechanical stuff is going on everywhere. But really, any stone that is going to help you feel in harmony. So something like jasper, and there's so many different beautiful types of jasper. Jasper absorbs EMF pollution. It relieves stress. It brings harmony. It helps you kind of feel like re-energized and it aligns and cleanses the chakras. So I think what happens is like something like daylight savings time happens, and we kind of can't get used to the time. We feel kind of out of sync. It seems like too early for like weeks, right? It's like something that I experience where it's like, man, it's too early again. So you got to think about like, okay, so what are the symptoms that need addressing here that I'm experiencing? Because I can't convince the world to stop this crazy daylight savings time thing. So I need to like address those. And so that's the way that I would kind of approach it, is to say like, okay, what is it? What's the root cause for me? Or, well, we know the cause is daylight savings time. but what am I experiencing that needs to be addressed, that I can kind of like, okay, I can release some of that stress. I can feel more reintegrated, with everyone else. I can feel in harmony with everything around me, So,
exactly.
So Jasper's just one that comes to mind immediately. And, anything that's going to kind of relieve that stress for you and help you feel the connection to it all. And so one other thing I would say is that spirit quartz, too, would be a really cool one. And that's it has all the little points all over it. If you've ever seen spirit quartz, sometimes they call it cactus quartz. It has all the little points, and it's really great for everybody getting along well, and feeling connected to each other. It's great for group settings, that kind of thing. So I think if you think about what's bothering you about daylight savings time and start looking at crystals that are going to help with those symptoms, is probably your best bet.
That sounds really good. I like that. So the key, I guess, to you want to put together a toolkit, and a good way to start is around the rainbow colors, which are the colors of the chakras, and just take it from there, and before you know it, you'll be buying more and more crystals, and your life will become quite magical. You can't go wrong with the crystals.
Absolutely, and I also think that there's something especially great when people just kind of they go off script and they're just drawn to something, and they don't even know anything about the stone. They see it, and I see this all the time, where they'll be like, I was at a yard sale, and I just saw the stone sitting there for $1, and I don't know why. I don't even know what it is, but I had to have it. And then what's interesting is if you do that and just go intuitively with what resonates with you so many times, if you do then the research later and start looking up, Googling the stone, seeing what some of the experts like Judy Hall and stuff might say about it, you will be stunned to find that is exactly the stone that you needed to deal with something that you were experiencing when you first were drawn to that stone. It's magic.
Well, that's when I used to travel to Europe or to Asia, I always brought back in my suitcase stones. It's always funny when I would go through customs, they would say, have you been to any farms or, picked up any dirt or anything? Of course, I'm out in the dirt and picking up rocks and stuff. And, of course, no. But whenever I pick up, one of my stones from Scotland or Ireland, you do connect with that energy, and stones don't have to be beautiful crystals. They can be, if you see a beautiful stone in your backyard or in the park, that can be just as powerful as a expensive piece, an opal or a amethyst. So, there's no bad stones, and beauty has nothing to do with it. I mean, it can be a flawed stone and not be perfect, and yet it's going to work for you. So all stones are beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess before we start taking some phone calls, I always, talk about what the moon is doing, and I always pull a tarot card. And let's see, we have a full moon in Virgo tonight, and the card that I pulled, I kind of think it ties in with it. It always does, because the cards are magical, is I have the 10 of Wands. So as far as the full moon in Virgo, I'm thinking practicality. Also, it's earth, so it's stones and, getting organized, maybe doing your taxes, starting new projects. And then we've got the the Ten of Wands. Are you picking up any vibes there, Mary?
From the Ten of Wands and the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's something about the moon. The Ten of Wands. What just pops into my head all just now, and it's something that like often I don't think about with the Ten of Wands, but I just think like pay attention to all the details. Like I feel you mentioned taxes. That's one area where we really need to pay attention to the details. But the moon energy just really, like I was out last night and the moon was, it was almost full, just gorgeous. And what I like to do, I call it a moon bath, where it's kind of like you do when you do like a fire ceremony, where you bring that warmth and heat and you let it wash over you. And so I stretch out my arms to the moon and I give a blessing and a greeting, and then I just pull my hands down and just like over my head, like I'm taking a moon bath. I'm bathing in that energy because it just feels like so good. To me, it's like such a way of like kind of washing my aura, So I love full moons in particular.
Yeah, wow. What a beautiful image. I think that's what they call drawing down the moon, drawing down the moon waves. Yeah. The moon, she's a beautiful creature, that's for sure. Well, shall we take some calls now? We got a lot of people hanging on. So are you ready, Mary, to take some calls? And I can look and see who's been waiting the longest.
I'm ready if you are.
I am ready. We're ready to hey, listen to this. We're ready to rock and roll. Get it?
I love it. I do. Love it.
Okay. So I am going to caller area code 256. She or he's been waiting the longest. What is your name and where are you calling from? Area code 256.
Kimberly, Tucker, Georgia.
Hi. Hey, Kimberly, and from Georgia.
Yep.
Okay. How can we help you today, or do you want to add something to our conversation that we're having about stones? I don't know. I just thought of getting stoned with us.
That's real clever. I love crystals, but my question is in reference to just a general message from Spirit.
Sure. Now, from Spirit, do you mean from a spirit guide or the other side, or just what is the energy, or do you want to know the energy that's surrounding you, the general energy?
Just general energy.
Okay. Well, Mary, do you want to go first?
Yes. In fact, I have this. I'm going to ask the Crystal Kingdom for a message using my little crystal wisdom cards and to see what comes up. This great little message cards and with these beautiful pictures. And this is kind of perfect for a Sunday message for you, Kimberly. The crystal that comes up is scolasite, and the message is I am an instrument of peace. And so it's just saying that, if nothing else, today can be a wonderful day where you can just stay in that peaceful energy, and if anything comes up that might, kind of conflict with that a little bit, you have that affirmation, I am an instrument of peace. And just hold on to that for the day. And that's what I have.
Okay.
And what I'm picking up, Kimberly, is you've been struggling, but you've gained the higher ground. You know, you have whatever you've been going through. It's passing, and you are ready to move on from it. It could even be health related, but I like to use the word energy related. That your struggles, you're moving onward. And part of it is I see you getting help from, helpful beings, whether they're in spirit or even, physical people that are helping you move through this situation.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was very helpful. Thank you both.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you back in the queue. I'll put you back in the queue because sometimes another person's question will also further give you even more information. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to call her 917. That sounds like that might be a New York person with a 917. 917, can you come in? Who do we have there?
Yes, I'm right here. You have Tim from New York indeed. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, my pleasure. How can Mary and I help you today? And what is your name?
Oh, sure. My name is Tim, and I have a bunch of crystals, so much that I've even forgotten the names of them, but I do have a carnelian, amethyst. I've tried to work with them, but I haven't been consistent, so I'm trying to be consistent. I'm asking for spirit for guidance and assistance, kind of helping me along the way, changing things financially and bringing abundance in. I just was curious if there's any message from spirit or any tips you can give me crystal-wise.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to let Mary go with the crystal. Is there a crystal that you think that Tim should put into his collection or call upon?
And this is for, you want to bring more abundance in, right?
Yes.
One of the classic crystals for that, and carnelian's terrific. I'm so glad to hear that you're working with carnelian, because it really is great at helping us to overcome obstacles and to trust ourselves, and really grounding us in the present moment. Terrific to use on the sacral and even root chakra. But abundance, traditionally one of the great stones of attracting prosperity and abundance and different forms of wealth is citrine. Okay. So much so that, back in the day, people used to keep, when they had cash registers, they would keep a little piece of citrine in a cash register or wallet even. And green aventurine is another one that's great too. But I really feel, this way about it, is that so many of these stones have, a variety of ways in which that they can help us. And so there's a reason why when you're wanting to attract abundance and stuff, that you're, the carnelian is one of the stones that you're drawn to. So I think, keep working with that. One great thing to do is really spend time with it. Keep it in your pocket. Just sleep with it. I sleep with rocks, under my pillow. It's padded a bit, because otherwise, that might be uncomfortable. But just keep working with it and be open to it. Meditate with it. I think that you're going to start really feeling the connection and really seeing some results. But yeah, for abundance, really green aventurine's great. Citrine's like the classic. Any of the green stones would be terrific too.
Okay.
So I hope that helps.
That helps. Cool. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Something popped into my mind too. I've worked for years with an abundance teacher, and one of the things that she taught me to do, and I'm going to pass it on to you too, Tim, is she said take a nice crisp dollar bill out of your wallet and smell it. That you want to memorize the smell of money, and it popped into my head that vision. So, money, we got to get out of our mind that money is dirty or whatever, but I always say get a nice new one, and you want to be able to smell the money and envision that smell. Have you ever done that, Mary? I mean, money definitely has like a nice smell to it, especially a nice crisp dollar bill. Yeah.
It does. No, I didn't know about that method, and I love the idea of it. It makes so much sense. Our olfactory senses, have such a huge impact on our lives.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense to me. And you're an aromatherapist too, right?
Yes. Yeah, but I never made the connection. But yeah, I mean, smell is one of, we're so like focused on sight and taste and hearing, but smell really goes right. It's right exactly in the brain, in the limbic system of the brain. So really powerful, Tim. I hope that helped, and I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm going to put you back in the queue so that you can keep listening
Thank you
in.
very much.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're well past the bottom of the hour. So I am just going to run through, what's coming up this week on Psychic Talk Radio, since we're well past the bottom of the hour. And just want to let everyone know that tomorrow, Monday, we have two fabulous shows. So Monday, March 9th, there is a radio show at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and that is The Wisdom of the Soul with host Janice Fuge. And that will be followed by a second show, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and that is the Compassionate Light and Healing and Guided Show with Catherine Hahn. And then on Friday, one of my favorite shows is going to be coming up on Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. The doctors will be in, and it's all going to be because it's Friday the 13th, and it's about how to expect luck. And that will be with the fabulous hosts, Rose Wilkerson and Dr. Dax Carlisle. And they will be taking your calls and doing tarot mini readings and mantras. And then it'll be Saturday, March 14th, and it'll be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And Mary, that's going to be one of your shows. Maybe you want to tell our listeners what you're going to be doing next Saturday.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be talking on the Tarot Today show about kind of what I think is just a really fun topic, and it's the idea of keywords, or friend or foe, because so many times when people are first, learning tarot, they're trying so hard to memorize, like at least one keyword for each card, and does that help us or does that get us stuck? Dax and I are going to kind of bat that question around a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I know I'm going to be listening in because keywords are, it's like you say, it can either, it can be a friend or a foe, and you never know whether to go just with your intuition or. So that's going to be really interesting. And I know that you're also going to be doing mini readings too. So I always want to tell our callers that if we don't get to your call today, do call in Monday. I know Catherine is going to be taking calls, and that'll be on Monday and Friday. the doctors, Dax and Rose, are going to be taking calls, and also next Saturday. So this is the most, like you've heard about the happiest place on earth. We are the most helpful place on earth if you need help with something. Right, Mary?
I love that, right? Yeah, I think so. And in so many different ways, I just love, our little Psychic Talk Radio family that, we have so many, different ways of approaching, the questions that people have on their minds. I love it.
Yeah, so much fun. So we're really, we love it when you hang out with us because we wouldn't have a show without you, our listeners. So keep on listening in. We feel your energy. So let's see who has been waiting the longest. And I am going to bring on area code 310. Who do we have there? Where are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Susan, and I'm calling from Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma. I didn't catch your first name.
Susan.
Your first name is, okay, Susan. Okay. So how can we, since we are the most helpful people, how can we help you today?
Yes, I actually just met someone, and I'm very interested in him. He's moving very slowly, and I'm wondering if I can enhance the going of this relationship with maybe some helpful crystals, or what do you suggest?
Okay. Mary, I'll let you go first. Helpful crystals.
Ooh, helpful crystals when it comes to relationships. I'll tell you the easiest one to find is rose quartz, and it's great for help with romantic love and with relationships and creating a sense of trust and harmony in relationships. And good at is self-love and acceptance. So, one of my favorite things that I find that I say an awful lot is that we meet people where they're at. They're not always exactly where we want them to be. And so, we can use crystals to aid that, but it also helps to, have that acceptance as well. And then another one that I would recommend is rhodochrosite. Okay, and this is beautiful. It's like kind of a banded, you'll with pink, and sometimes you'll see like pink and white banding on it, or maybe some orange in there too. And it is just wonderful because it really, it brings up and releases like anything that's not serving the relationship. It helps unblock things. So sometimes when someone's kind of taking it slow and it feels like, okay, they're slow and then there's turtles, you're at a turtle phase here. Sometimes that can be because the person's still trying to release some blocks that they may have, or some things that, cause them to put up a little bit of a fence. When it comes to really opening up and being expressive of their emotions. So those two stones, rose quartz and rhodochrosite, are ones that I would recommend to work with.
How do you spell the rhodochrosite?
Okay, so rhodochrosite is RHOD as in doggy, I guess, O.
Okay.
CHROSITE. Rhodochrosite.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I also have an angel for you, too. Archangel Shamuel. I don't know if you work with the angelic realm, but Archangel Shamuel, he helps you as far as what you are seeking. So immediately I saw a pale green light His light is pale green. I'm getting that this might be a really good relationship for you. He's just moving a little bit slow, but we're getting all these messages to that's actually a good thing because he's really thinking it through. And just to remain positive, he's guarding his heart. His heart maybe has been broken before, but he knows love and he knows what he's looking for, and you will soon see a sign that'll give you a lot of faith that you are moving forward in the right direction. So basically just hang in there and everything. Okay. Get those crystals, and if you believe in angels, talk to Archangel Shamuel, because he'll help you see the signs of, because I think this person's watching you and looking for certain indications that you're the right person. So that angel will help you with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Thanks for calling us. And I'm going to put you back in the group so you can keep listening.
Okay.
Okay, I'm bringing on caller area code 813. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. I'm calling from California this morning, and my name is Christina. And
hey,
I really
Christina.
enjoy listening. Hi.
Oh,
I really
thank you.
enjoy listening. I once received a fish tank full of crystals, so I smile lovingly. It was a few years back that yes, I'm obviously meant to have them, and I've got several kinds all over my home, and so I really love hearing about the angels that are connected, the Oversoul, and just all of the techniques and individuality when it comes to what each person feels drawn to do with them. And the question I have is I'm moving in about 2 weeks from now, and it was a like ripping off a Band-Aid. It was a home I was in when I was a teenager, and I'm a grandmother now, and I'm starting my life over, and I saw a blue orb in what's going to be my daughter's room, so I knew that they knew I was really hurting. And I am in school, and I am going to be starting up a business where I'm helping people change from the inside out, knowing no details, just that I have this desire. And I just want to know if I'm going to be okay financially. So I've got some stuff going on with courts where my alimonies, they're thinking of taking that away. It's just been a really dark period, but out of it, self-awareness, getting to know my higher self, knowing that I'm not alone. There's been a lot of beautiful blessings that have come out of this situation. But, I still deal with fear in my own personal safety. What do they have to say to me about all this? Am I going to be okay financially if the money's gone from him?
What are you picking up, Mary?
What I mean, is that? What is that? Is that a baby?
It's an adopted 7-year-old cat that I rescued from the SPCA who was homeless, caught in a trap, and he's my baby now. He's sweet. He's always with me, and we love him so much. We met him, and he was getting a tummy rub. And my children chose him. So many people overlook, older cats, and I said, think about what you want, personality-wise, and he's docile and loving. So his name's Ringo, and we wouldn't change of thinking it. They asked us, you want to change his name? No, this is who he is.
I love that. Yeah, right. When you adopt and change the name. I never change the name when I rescue an animal. I'm like, okay, you already know your name. I need to get to know your name. But while you were talking about all of that, and I think it was around the time where you mentioned like the blue orb. Two things came to mind for me, and one is you probably have it. You have a lot of crystals. Do you have blue lace agate?
I don't know. I'd have to look that name up and then see if I have the stone. There were none in that house. We were just doing a walkthrough.
Right.
And I was telling my children, envision yourself here. We're going to paint the walls. But I didn't know I would hurt so bad stepping into that house. I really had to go home. They dropped them off at their dad's, and I curled up in a ball and put on some angelic harmonizing and just was in such grief. It's been a really painful time over the past few years for my children and I. And we're moving because someone's broken into our home multiple times, and I think it's their dad.
My goodness.
So
because what popped into my head was blue lace agate and then also fluorite, but Archangel Michael. Because I know we're talking about, the concern about the finances and if you're going to be well, but I just, there was something about you mentioning the blue orb, and I hear the words blue lace agate, fluorite in my head, and I just get this, like, energetic, just strong feeling of Archangel Michael. So I don't even know off the top of my head. I don't even know if people talk to Archangel Michael or connect with him over finances. But I feel like you could be calling upon him to help dispel the fear, to cut the negative cords, energetic cords, to all of this that you have gone through. You've got this. You've got this beautiful new chapter in your life that you're ready to start. And I think calling upon Archangel Michael would be really helpful. So that
I said, God bless your heart, Archangel Michael. I'm hurting. And what was interesting is the night before, as I began to drift off, I heard the words, establish yourself.
Love it. Love it. Sharonah, what are you getting?
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up that you are definitely moving toward more peaceful, safer times and environment. And what you're doing, you've invested in yourself, and that's really good. You've invested in being the best. You kind of a lot of noise in the background, so
it's my food. Sorry, red onion sizzling. Sorry. Yeah. No, you're moving towards something that's greater and is you're gonna be a lot happier. I am seeing the other thing message that I'm getting from Archangel Michael is he has a sword. So what you need to do is there's a lot of cords, when we finish up, just picture him cutting all the cords of negativity and the bad stuff that you had in the past, that, to put that into the past, don't let it follow you, and he can help you with that as far as cutting all the cords. But you're moving in the right direction. Yeah. Thank you so much. I thought that was a sign, because when I had stepped foot in my children's room 2 years ago after a horrible, frightening, rare illness, I saw a blue orb before I stepped in after not being in the room for 8 months, and it shocked me. It was the very first time. And then my then-husband's hands held out in the pinnacles in a cave. And for me, that was when I was too afraid to ask for help, but he knew, and I was determined to climb that cave. So I knew, okay, don't worry, you can step in here, they'll be safe. And so I see the orbs all the time, and when I don't see them for a couple of days or maybe a week or two, I'll say, hey, I'm missing you guys, because I see all the colors. Not all of them, I've seen several colors, and then I look up which angel And it's the most non-frightening way for me to communicate and to know that they're around, but I also do hear them like I hear you guys. And one time I said, I love you guys, and they said, we know, we love you too. It's great.
Wonderful.
I'm learning to listen, because sometimes I don't want to do what they've suggested, and they've never steered me wrong, and I now think if they're going to go to the trouble to make sure that I can hear something that they're suggesting, because they never tell you what to do, then I would be wise to listen, and because it's always turned out that, oh, my goodness, they were right, so anyway, thank you guys for what you're doing. It's so needed, and you guys are beautiful souls, and I look forward to connecting with you guys in the future, and many blessings.
And you're a beautiful soul too, Christina.
Yeah.
We love you too. You're a beautiful soul. We're going to put you back in the queue because we want your energy to, while we're taking our final call, we want your energy there because you have such great energy. So I'm going to put you back in the queue. And we are going to caller area code 415. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Anne, and I'm also calling from California.
Anne from California.
Yeah,
so
first
good
time
to
I've
have
listened to
you
your
here.
show, so thank.
Well, we're glad that you're here. And how can we help you today?
Well, I work in a field that has been greatly affected by all this fear of the virus, and my work has been canceled for 2 weeks. There's everything I work on has been canceled. It's events. All the events have been canceled. So just anything about what to do during this time or ways to take advantage of this time or new opportunities that are coming in from this, what would you say, like a silver lining in the cloud?
Well, there's always a silver lining in every cloud.
Oh, yes.
Mary, what are you picking up? I'm shuffling some cards here. Are you picking up what from your crystals? Are you getting a message?
What I'm examining this right now. It's very interesting. I'm seeing actually an image in one of my labradorite spheres here, and do you have dark hair, Anne?
Auburn, not too dark, reddish brown.
Right, but it's not blonde, right? Because
correct.
It's like this woman with darker hair. It's kind of funny, like in labradorite, like if it's gold, because we get gold flashes in it, then I think it's blonde. But this is somebody where it's like the darker colors, and holding her, which I gotta see which hand this is because it's kind of like a mirror. It's reversed. Holding her left hand to her third eye area, like the middle of your forehead, And so I feel like this is saying like this is actually a great time to be doing third eye things. So like meditating, third eye exercises, working with your intuition. There's something about this. It's weird how things happen in our lives, right? But it's kind of it's no coincidence that you've got essentially like some free time right now where you can, kind of do those intuitive practices, that meditation, that relaxed breathing, whatever it is going to bring that calmness and allow you to access your inner knowing, your intuition. That's going to be really important. And the other thing that comes up in this crystal is just really kind of remarkable is that there is a sense of a I want to say, it's so funny. I'm trying to do this like quick enough for the radio, but what it looks like. So I see this figure with the woman with the dark hair. She's got her left hand up to her third eye, and behind her is this kind of it's some kind of a herb, some kind of bush or plant or something.
Mm.
Do you have any interest in plants? Do you work with plants? Do you garden or
Well,
anything like that?
Well, I usually meditate outside. So, I don't like being in my room. I usually go out to a park or a trail, or, so maybe it says, keep up with that.
Yeah, I could see that, because there's a definitely connection to, being meditative, but there's also something going on with plants with you too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like learning more about herbs, doing some of that,
right.
because the thing that pops into my head is that this crazy virus is going around. We don't have any medicines for it, So, in any of the things that you do to keep yourself healthy in a natural way may be really, really beneficial to dig into right now. But that's what I'm getting. Wait, Sharonah, what about you?
Yeah, I'm getting something really similar. I'm getting, first of all, we need to remain positive, that there is, and that word you were saying about a silver lining, there's a silver lining to this, and this is an opportunity for people to be helpful to each other. And it's funny, I'm getting like all cards that have cups in it. So I kind of see if you do something with, herbs and elixirs to share that and be one of the help. I see you being one of the helpful people that's going to help with all this. So I don't know whether you have, and I'm getting a lot of stuff like going around like the internet. I don't know whether you have maybe a Facebook group that you could start about herbs and stuff, and how to stay healthy and positive during these times. But almost like another stream of income and another way of being that you could be doing. Start that maybe like a group on Facebook, for other people that don't know what to do, what to do, and how everyone can band together, because it's going to be all of our energy that's going to get us through this. But we are going to get through it. I'm getting all good cards that this is going to be a much better place after we get through this, crazy time.
Mhm. Great. All right. Thank you very much. I will start in that path, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. No, you're not. You're a healer. You're definitely a healer.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes, it's the modem. It's the modem. I'm working on. But I've always worked. I've worked in nonprofits, and I just want to do something different than what I've done in the past. So that's just the new branch I'm discovering.
Yeah. And it's telling you go. Combine the two things. You want to. I see the events picking up again, but this is like a new direction that you can have something additional. I'm so happy that you joined us today. Thank you so much, and you have such great energy.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the show, and I will
Our pleasure.
Mark it on the weekends.
Yeah, I'll be back again. I'm going to be talking about that in a few minutes because we're coming toward the end. I'll be back in 2 weeks, and let me put you back in the queue, and we'll kind of talk about that. Thank you. Thank you. We wouldn't have a show without our listeners, so thank you, and we love you. So, Mary, Mickey Mouse's hands are kind of telling us we need to wrap everything up, so we got to listen to what Mickey is telling us. So I think we got to all of our calls, so that was really good. But I always tell people, we have more shows that you can call into next week. And just want to let everyone know that this show, which is called Magic Universe with Sharonah, I will be back in 2 weeks. That'll be Sunday, March 22nd, and that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's so funny. My topic will be all about how to raise your vibrations with essential oils. So probably good timing with everything that's going on. And, of course, that's something that we do with crystals. I mean, the whole thing that I always tell with the show is if we want to get through anything and if you want to manifest, you want to surround yourself with things that raise your vibrations, because that is when we're able to do magic. So it'll be about raising your vibrations with essential oils. So let's see. Well, just want to let everyone know that I am your magic mama. I am Sharonah Rapseik, and gosh, I just want to thank my special guest, Mary Brown. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was so much fun, and I loved connecting with everybody, and this is just wonderful. Thank you so much, Sharonah.
Oh, thank you. We're going to have to do it again. And yes, indeed. And yes, I want to thank all of my listeners, for joining us today. And the one thing that I always tell people when I end the show is the most important thing is you want to focus on what is positive in your life and be thankful for it. Because, that way the universe is going to send you more of that positive stuff. And it is a magic universe. So what you think about happens, and you want to keep your energy and your vibrations high. And, also, I forgot, today is International Women's Day. So to all of you women out there, happy day, and we need, everyone, even the guys need to call on their divine feminine energy, because we've got a little bit of both, but it is Women's Day, so a lot of feminine energy. And everyone, until we meet again in 2 weeks on Sunday, March 22nd, I'm telling you to keep your vibes high, and I'm wishing you countless angel blessings and good energy. I love you all. I love you, Mary. I love you, listeners.
Love you, too.
Bye-bye.
Love everybody.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.